morning. Gonna need you to move along. This is for court staff only.
I am court staff. I'm headed inside. My name's Ernestine.
Right. Let the janitors in early now, huh?
No,
Go ahead and step out of the vehicle for me.
Officer, there's been a
Step
mistake.
out now.
Fine.
Hands behind your back.
Officer Martinez had no idea what he just walked into. In the next 48 hours, his partner would lose his badge. The department would issue a formal apology on national news, and a $27 million civil rights lawsuit would land on the city's desk. The woman he just handcuffed wasn't just an employee. She was Magistrate Judge Diane Williams. She had 15 years on the bench. She had power over criminal cases in 3 counties. Judge Williams had handled 2,400 cases. She had a law degree from Georgetown. She served as a federal prosecutor before becoming a judge. She was known for her tough stance on police misconduct cases, and tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., she was scheduled to sentence Officer Martinez's partner on excessive force charges. His body camera was recording everything. Before we continue, let me ask you this. Have you ever been treated unfairly by someone in power just because of how you looked? Drop your answer in the comments below. But Officer Martinez had no idea who he was handcuffing. Judge Diane Williams was 52 years old. She was the presiding magistrate judge for the 14th Judicial Circuit. That covered 3 counties, Harris, Jefferson, and Monroe. She'd been on the bench for 15 years. Before that, she worked as an assistant U.S. attorney for 8 years. She specialized in civil rights violations. She went after bad cops for a living. She graduated from Georgetown Law School. She did well there, really well. In her 15 years as a judge, she handled over 2,400 criminal cases. Her conviction rate on police misconduct cases was 89%. People in legal circles called her the Hammer. She didn't go easy on officers who abused their power. She also served on the State Judicial Ethics Committee. Judge Williams was a single mother. She had 2 kids in college. She lived just 4 miles from the courthouse. Every morning she arrived early. She drove a 2015 Honda Accord, nothing fancy. She would sit in her car with coffee and review case files before 7 a.m. On this Tuesday morning in March, Judge Williams was doing exactly that. She was preparing for an important sentencing. Officer Derek Chen was facing time for excessive force. He broke a suspect's jaw during an arrest, and Derek Chen was Officer Martinez's training partner, his best friend. Officer Jake Martinez, badge number 4782, had been on the force for exactly 11 months, and he already had a file. Jake Martinez was 24 years old. He graduated from the police academy ranked 43rd out of 47 cadets. That's near the bottom. He failed his first evaluation. They said he had problems with interpersonal communication. He was on extended probation. He worked the 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. shift. His partner was Officer Derek Chen. In 11 months, Martinez had 7 complaints filed against him. Every single one involved a person of color. Every single one was dismissed as a procedural misunderstanding. His supervising sergeant kept clearing him. Let me walk you through his pattern. On January 15th, he detained a Hispanic landscaper outside a municipal building. He said the man was suspicious. The man was on lunch break. He worked for a city contractor. Complaint filed. Dismissed. On February 3rd, Martinez pulled over a black businessman. He claimed the man failed to signal. The dashboard camera showed the turn signal was working. The driver was a city councilman. Martinez got a written warning. On February 28th, he questioned a black woman in the courthouse parking lot. He said her vehicle was stolen. The car was registered to her. Her parking pass was visible. The woman was a court stenographer. That complaint was still pending. Court security nicknamed him Rookie Rambo. Other officers called him Jake the Mistake behind his back. His own sergeant wrote in his file that Martinez escalates situations without reason. He struggles to read social context. Type "fired" in the comments if you think he should have been removed from duty after 3 complaints. So why was he still employed? The department was short on staff. They were down 23% since 2019. The police union protected him during his probation period, and his partner Derek Chen kept vouching for him. But on March 17th, Martinez's pattern was about to hit a wall. It was Tuesday, March 17, 2024. The time was 6:47 a.m. The location was Harris County Courthouse, West Employee Parking Lot, Section C. It was a three-story government complex built in 1987. The parking lot was for judicial staff and court employees only. It had 34 marked spaces. Judge Williams always parked in an unmarked spot near the back entrance. The morning was cold and gray. It was 52 degrees. Light rain was falling. The parking lot was almost empty. Court didn't open until 8:30 a.m. You could hear rain hitting windshields. Distant traffic hummed from Highway 45. Security lights were still on. They cast a fluorescent glow against the gray sky. Judge Williams sat alone in her Honda Accord. Her driver's seat was reclined slightly, a coffee thermos S. And on the dashboard, case files covered the passenger seat. She wore reading glasses. A yellow highlighter was in her hand. Two other cars were in the lot. A court clerk's Toyota, a bailiff's truck. Both people were inside the building already. At 6:47 a.m., Martinez's patrol unit entered the lot. The dash cam timestamp shows it. He wasn't responding to a call. There was no emergency. He was just patrolling. He circled the lot once. Then he slowed down near Judge Williams's car. He radioed dispatch. 754, I've got a suspicious vehicle in the courthouse employee lot. The dispatcher said, copy, proceed with caution. Martinez pulled directly behind Judge Williams's car. He blocked her in. He turned on his flashing lights. No siren. Judge Williams looked up from her files. She was confused. She watched in her rearview mirror. Martinez got out and walked toward her car. His hand was near his holster. She put down her highlighter. She lowered her window halfway. If you think stories like this are important, hit that subscribe button now. Ma'am, step out of the vehicle. This is a restricted area. Judge Williams looked at him calmly. Officer, I work here. I'm a... Martinez cut her off. License and registration now. I'm Judge Diane Williams. I'm a magistrate here. I arrive early every morning. Sure you are. License. Judge Williams reached for her purse. She pulled out her license. She handed it through the window. Martinez looked at it, then at her, then back at the license. This address is 4 miles away. Why are you sitting in this lot at 6 a.m.? Because court starts at 9 a.m., and I review my cases before. Court doesn't start for 2 hours. Step out of the vehicle. Judge Williams stayed calm. Officer, call your dispatcher. Call courthouse security. They can verify. I'm not calling anyone. This is MY stop. You're making this difficult. I'm not making anything difficult. I'm telling you who I am. Yeah, and I'm the chief of police. Out now. Judge Williams stayed in her seat. She pulled out her phone. Martinez's voice got louder. Put that phone down. Hands where I can see them. I'm calling the bailiff inside. You're interfering with a police investigation. Put the phone down. Judge Williams placed her phone on the dashboard. She put her hands on the steering wheel. Final warning. Exit the vehicle or I will remove you. Judge Williams looked at his nameplate. Officer Martinez, you're making a serious mistake. The only mistake here is you thinking you can sit in a government lot pretending to be a judge. Out. At 6:52 a.m., a court clerk named Maria Gonzalez walked out of the building. She saw the patrol lights flashing. She started walking quickly toward them. Hey, what's going on? Martinez turned to her. Ma'am, step back. This is official police business. Maria pointed at Judge Williams. That's Judge Williams. What are you doing? I said step back or you'll be detained too. Martinez turned back to Judge Williams. He opened her driver's door. He opened it hard. Judge Williams said, Officer, do not touch me. I am complying. Martinez grabbed her arm. Hands behind your back. You are making a catastrophic mistake. You're under arrest for trespassing and obstruction. Click. The handcuffs closed around Judge Williams's wrists. A sitting magistrate judge, in handcuffs, in her own parking lot. What Martinez didn't know was that courthouse security was watching on camera. The head bailiff was already calling the chief of police. And those case files on Judge Williams's passenger seat, they were for the 9 a.m. sentencing of Officer Derek Chen. Martinez's partner. Chen was facing 18 months for breaking a suspect's jaw during an arrest. At 6:54 a.m., the courthouse doors burst open. Bailiff Thomas Reed came running out. "Martinez, what are you doing?" Martinez spun around. "Sir, I have a trespasser." "That's a judge. That's Judge Williams." Martinez froze. He looked at Judge Williams in handcuffs, then back at Reed. She didn't have ID." Reed was furious. "SHE showed you her license. I watched it on camera." Judge Williams was still in handcuffs. Her voice was steady. "Officer, you should remove these now." Martinez fumbled for his keys. Ma'am, if you just said." "I told you 4 times I was a judge. You called me a liar." Maria Gonzalez pulled out her phone. She started recording. "I got all of it, every word." Now here's what happened next. 3 witnesses came forward immediately. Each one had a clear view of what happened. Thomas Reed was the head bailiff. He'd worked there for 19 years. He said, "I've worked with Judge Williams since 2009. She parks in this exact spot every single morning. Martinez had no reason to stop her. None." Maria Gonzalez was a court clerk. She'd been there for 7 years. She said, "I heard him from inside the building. He was aggressive from the start. She stayed calm. She identified herself. He didn't care. When I tried to help, he threatened to arrest me too." Vincent Hayes was a security guard. He was watching the camera feed. He said, "Martinez's patrol unit circled the lot twice before stopping. There was no 911 call, no dispatch order. He just decided to stop her. I called Chief Rhodes immediately when he put on the cuffs." The evidence was overwhelming. Martinez's body camera captured the entire encounter, 18 minutes and 34 seconds. The parking lot security cameras caught it too, 3 different angles, high definition, with audio. Maria's phone recorded 4 minutes of video, from the final warning through the handcuffing. The dash cam from Martinez's patrol unit captured his initial approach, and Judge Williams had started a voice recording on her phone when Martinez first walked up. She had 11 minutes of audio. At 6:58 a.m., a police SUV pulled into the parking lot fast. It was Chief of Police Daniel Rhodes. He lived 2 miles away. Reed had called him. Rhodes got out of his vehicle. He saw Judge Williams in handcuffs. His face went red. "Uncuff her now." Martinez tried to explain. "Chief, I said now." Martinez's hands were shaking. He removed the handcuffs. Judge Williams rubbed her wrists. There were red marks on her skin. "Your Honor, I didn't know." Judge Williams looked at him. "You didn't ask. You saw a black woman in a parking lot and assumed I was a criminal." "No, I just thought." "You thought what, officer? That a judge couldn't be black, couldn't drive a Honda?" Martinez went silent. His body camera caught his face. He was realizing how badly he messed up. Chief Rhodes held out his hand. "Martinez, you're on administrative leave effective immediately. Badge and gun, now." Martinez was starting to understand, but he still didn't know the full scope of the disaster. Standing in front of him was the judge who would decide his partner's fate in less than 26 hours. She had just been illegally detained, handcuffed, and humiliated by a rookie cop with a pattern she'd seen 100 times before. Comment below if you think Martinez should face criminal charges for this. Chief Rhodes immediately called Lieutenant Sarah Chen. She ran internal affairs. Lieutenant Chen arrived at 7:14 a.m. She brought 2 IA investigators with her. They escorted Judge Williams inside the building. They offered her a medical check. She said no. Martinez was ordered to wait in the parking lot. He was separated from all the witnesses. Lieutenant Chen interviewed Judge Williams first. It was voluntary. The statement took 28 minutes. Then she reviewed the body camera footage in the courthouse security office. She collected Maria Gonzalez's phone video. She pulled all the parking lot security footage, all 3 angles. She interviewed Reed, Gonzalez, and Hayes separately. She pulled Martinez's entire personnel file. She checked his complaint history. She reviewed the dispatch logs, and here's what she found. There was no call that justified the stop. Martinez started the contact on his own. No reason. Now Martinez's story started to fall apart. He made 3 claims. Each one was a lie. Claim 1. Martinez said, I thought the vehicle was suspicious because it was parked in an employee lot before business hours. But the parking lot security logs showed something different. Judge Williams's car entered at 6:38 a.m. That's a normal arrival time. Court employees arrive between 6:30 and 8:30 am all the time. Martinez had patrolled this lot 47 times in 11 months. He never stopped anyone else. Claim 2. Martinez said, she refused to provide ID when I asked. But the body camera footage told the truth. Judge Williams handed over her driver's license within 40 seconds. Martinez looked at it. He read her name out loud. Then he kept demanding she get out of the car. Claim 3. Martinez said, I felt the situation needed to escalate for officer safety because she was uncooperative. Audio analysis proved that was false. Judge Williams spoke in calm, measured tones the entire time. She followed every lawful order. She never raised her voice. She never made threatening movements. Martinez went from suspicious vehicle to arrest in under 6 minutes. There was zero evidence of any crime. At 9:47 a.m., Chief Rhodes held an emergency meeting. The city attorney was there. The mayor was there. At 10:15 a.m., Martinez was officially suspended without pay. A full IA investigation would follow. At 11:00 a.m., the city issued a public statement. They called it an incident involving a judicial officer. They said immediate administrative action was taken. Judge Williams was given the option to step down from Officer Chen's sentencing. She refused. Martinez was banned from the courthouse. He couldn't enter any judicial building in 3 counties. Martinez's reactions told the whole story. At the scene, he was silent. He stared at the ground. He was shaking. When he talked to Lieutenant Chen, he said, I was just doing my job. I didn't know she was a judge. W. When they showed him the body camera footage, he said, she didn't look like, When they asked about his previous complaints, he said, those were misunderstandings. This is different. When they told him he'd be suspended, he cried. He said, my career is over. Derek is getting sentenced tomorrow, and now this. Judge Williams entered the courthouse at 7:30 a.m. She went straight to her chambers. She canceled her morning cases. She spent 3 hours with the city attorney discussing the incident. By noon, 12 other judges had signed a letter supporting her. Judge Williams issued a statement. I will not allow this incident to interfere with my judicial duties. Officer Chen's sentencing will proceed as scheduled. But the consequences were just beginning. Maria Gonzalez's 4-minute video had already been uploaded to social media. By lunchtime, Cop Handcuffs judge was trending nationwide. If you think this video matters, make sure you're subscribed. We cover stories like this every week. Let me show you how fast this spread. At 8:47 a.m., Maria uploaded the video to Twitter. Her caption said, "This is what happens when you're black in America. Even judges aren't safe." By 9:30 a.m., the video had 24,000 views. Local activist accounts picked it up. By 10:45 a.m., it hit 180,000 views. The hashtag Judge Williams was trending locally. By 12:15 p.m., local TV stations interrupted their programming. Breaking news. By 2:00 p.m., the video had 1.2 million views. CNN reached out to Judge Williams's office. By 6:00 p.m., it was at 4.8 million views. It was on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. By midnight, the video had been viewed 11.3 million times. The hashtag Handcuffs and Justice was trending number 2 nationally. Here are the numbers. On Twitter, the original video got 8.7 million views. It was retweeted 340,000 times. It got 890,000 likes. On TikTok, there were 47 reaction videos. Combined, they had 6.2 million views. On Instagram, major civil rights groups reposted it. The NAACP, the ACLU, Color of Change. On Reddit, there were 4 threads about it. They got 72,000 upvotes combined. On YouTube, news clips were uploaded. They reached 2.1 million views by the end of day 1. Comments were powerful. One said, "She told him 4 times she was a judge and he called her a liar. This is what black professionals face every day." It got 89,000 likes. Another said, "The fact that she stayed this calm while being illegally detained. If she'd raised her voice even once, they'd use it against her." It got 67,000 likes. Another said, "He's sentencing his partner tomorrow. His partner, and he did this. The audacity. It got 103,000 likes. All 4 local news stations led with the story for 3 days straight. CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, ABC, and CBS all covered it within 18 hours. Legal experts appeared on TV 23 times in 48 hours. Every single one agreed it was a civil rights violation. Chief Rhodes held a press conference at 6:00 p.m. He said, "This incident does not reflect our department's values. Officer Martinez has been suspended and is under investigation." People criticized the statement. They called it weak and defensive. By 7:30 p.m., over 400 protesters gathered outside police headquarters. Martinez tried damage control. His attorney released a statement. Officer Martinez regrets the misunderstanding and has great respect for the judiciary. People mocked the word misunderstanding online. It started trending sarcastically. Martinez deleted his personal social media by 3:00 p.m. Even the police union wouldn't defend him publicly. 3 days later, Officer Derek Chen stood before Judge Williams for sentencing. The same judge his partner had handcuffed 72 hours earlier. The courtroom was packed. Every major news outlet had cameras outside. Comment below if you think Judge Williams should have recused herself from that case. 8 days after the incident, Judge Williams filed a federal lawsuit. It was March 25th. She filed in U.S. District Court. The defendants were Officer Jake Martinez, the Harris County Police Department, Chief Daniel Rhodes, and Harris County itself. Her legal team came from the ACLU and a private civil rights firm called Brennan and Associates. The claims were serious. Fourth Amendment violation for unlawful detention. Section 1983 violation for deprivation of civil rights under color of law, false arrest, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and municipal liability for failure to train and supervise officers. The case number was 424CV01847. During discovery, the plaintiff's attorneys subpoenaed Martinez's complete personnel file. What they found was damning. 7 citizen complaints, all involved people of color, 3 failed probationary evaluations, 2 prior incidents nearly identical to the Judge Williams case. His training records showed he scored lowest in cultural competency and de-escalation techniques. They also found text messages between Martinez and Officer Chen. They cussed Judge Williams. One text said, "That judge is a hard ass. Derek says she's out to get cops." The evidence count was staggering. 4 video recordings, 11 witness statements, 89 pages of personnel records, 14 similar complaints against Martinez by black citizens. Pattern evidence showed Martinez stopped and questioned people of color at 8.7 times the rate of white citizens. Discovery ran from April to August 2024. In September, the city tried to settle. They offered $850,000. Judge Williams refused. She said, "This isn't about money." In October, the city raised the offer to $2.4 million. Judge Williams had demands: full admission of wrongdoing, policy reforms, Martinez's termination. On November 15, 2024, they reached a settlement. Wait until you hear the amount. The total settlement was $27 million. It was one of the largest pretrial civil rights settlements in state history. Here's the breakdown: $22 million in compensatory damages, $5 million in punitive damages. Harris County paid $24.3 million. Insurance covered $18 million. Taxpayers covered $6.3 million. Martinez was personally liable for $2.7 million. His wages would be garnished for life. Judge Williams donated $15 million to a civil rights legal defense fund. The social consequences were severe. Martinez was banned from all Harris County government property forever. A permanent restraining order was issued. Martinez had to stay 500 feet away from Judge Williams. He was barred from law enforcement employment anywhere in the state. His post-certification was revoked. Martinez was fired on October 3, 2024. The Internal Affairs investigation concluded he had a pattern of racial profiling. He committed misconduct unbecoming an officer. He violated departmental policy. Officer Derek Chen, Martinez's partner, was sentenced on March 18th. He got 14 months in county jail plus 3 years probation for excessive force. Chief Rhodes retired early in November 2024. He faced pressure for failing to address Martinez's pattern. Martinez faced no criminal charges. The district attorney declined to prosecute. They said there was insufficient evidence of criminal intent. The civil settlement included a clause. Martinez couldn't publicly criticize Judge Williams. In December 2024, Martinez filed for bankruptcy. At the settlement hearing on November 15, Martinez read a court-mandated apology. His voice was flat. He read from a paper. I apologize to Judge Williams for my actions on March 17. I acted inappropriately and without justification. I am sorry. He made no eye contact. His body language was detached. People saw it as forced. Online, people said, he's not sorry he did it. He's sorry he got caught. Judge Williams gave a statement outside the courthouse. This settlement is not victory. Victory would be a system where this never happens, where black judges, black doctors, black teachers, black Americans can exist without being treated as suspects. I accepted this settlement because it includes mandatory reforms. That's what matters. On November 15, 2024, Judge Williams stood on the courthouse steps. It was 4:15 p.m. Over 40 reporters were there, 12 TV cameras. Judge Williams wore her black judicial robes. It was a symbolic choice. Her ACLU attorney stood beside her. Her family was in the background. She spoke clearly. I have sat on the bench for 15 years. I have sent people to prison. I have protected victims. I have upheld the law. And on March 17th, none of that mattered, because I was just another black woman in a parking lot. Her voice cracked. I was handcuffed in the place where I work, where I have served justice for 15 years. My wrists were bruised. My dignity was stripped. And for what? For sitting in my own car, drinking my own coffee, preparing to do my own job. Then she talked about her position. I'm lucky. I had the legal knowledge to protect myself. I had colleagues who witnessed. I had cameras recording. I had resources to fight back. But what about the grocery store clerk, the fast food worker, the janitor? They face this every day. And they don't have $27 million settlements waiting. They just have trauma. She addressed workers directly. If you are mistreated by people in power, you have rights. You do not deserve abuse. You do not have to accept disrespect. Document everything. Find witnesses. Speak up. The system is broken, but you are not powerless. Then she addressed officers and all people in power. Respect is not optional. It is the baseline. If you see a human being and your first instinct is suspicion because of their skin color, you are the problem. And yes, there will be consequences. She talked about what she wanted. This settlement forces Harris County Police to implement bias training and early intervention systems. Officers with complaint patterns will be tracked. There will be community oversight. That's a start. Not enough, but a start. She thanked people. To Maria W.H. O filmed when she could have walked away. To Thomas, who ran to my defense. To every person who shared that video and demanded better. Thank you. You made this possible. Her closing words were powerful. I am a judge, but before that I am a black woman in America, and no badge, no robe, no degree will ever fully protect me from what happened in that parking lot. That is the truth we must face, and that is the truth we must change. This case exposed something bigger. Judge Williams wasn't the only professional targeted. Martinez wasn't the only cop with a pattern everyone ignored. Studies show black drivers are stopped by police 20% more than white drivers. They're searched 2.7 times more often. Black Americans are wrongfully convicted 7 times more than white Americans, often because of initial officer bias. Officers with 3 or more complaints for racial bias stay active 78% of the time. Union protections and lack of oversight keep them employed. This case was different because Judge Williams had power and resources. Most victims don't. Type reform if you think the system needs to change. So let me ask you, do we really believe officers like Martinez should stay on the streets until they handcuff a judge? Do we really accept that a $27 million settlement paid by taxpayers is accountability when the officer declares bankruptcy and moves on. Do we really think this only happens to judges who can fight back? Or do we finally admit it happens every single day to people who can't? Because if we don't fix the system that protected Martinez for 11 months, then we're just waiting for the next rookie cop, the next black professional, the next parking lot, the next handcuffs, the next viral video, and the next $27 million settlement that changes nothing. Comment below if you believe officers with proven racial bias should lose their badges, not just get more training. If you think stories like this matter, hit that subscribe button right now. We're going to keep exposing these patterns. We're going to keep demanding accountability. We're going to keep fighting for a system where everyone can exist without being treated like suspects. Ring that bell. This isn't just about Officer Martinez or Judge Williams. It's about all of us. See you in the next one.